After a month, the Cavaliers received no further contact from Lincoln's people in any form. Their silence was only further mystified by the burned rubble at their previous encampment. We assumed the worst. Austin Maverick and Jim Wreck had heard of their plans to hand this Sam Bauer and Buddy over to us and decided to cut the safety rope. In the meantime, we claimed a dam as colonial ground in order to set up a more reliable base of operations. Camp Breda had become compromised, as Maverick would have no doubt questioned the poor souls of Novi Svet.
Well, of course, I'm back to trade.
Right. Well, I apologise. I must leave you with the other chaps to possibly sort that out. I've got a bit of a chat to have with this lady. What? Where's Mr. Larson gone? Or tell you what. You sir, who might you be? Oh, apologies. Yes. Why don't you go help this chap trade some items, see what he has, and see what we can offer. If of course we're in need.
Yes, sir.
Yes, appreciate it. What's your knee, Mr. Vanderberg? You don't want to put too much strain on it. Right, Bob.
Yeah, can you, we are in...
Lieutenant.
We could use...
Yes.
I believe this was from the broadcast.
Let me show you.
Sorry, what? Who is this?
I believe I have some clothing.
Her name is Michaela, I believe.
Right, and Miss Michaela, yes. Right, gentlemen, if we could have some privacy, please, and perimeter would be preferable.
Alright, I want everyone get in positions.
We returned one night from a patrol to find strangers sleeping in our beds and eating our porridge. Apparently they'd seen fit to invade our camp whilst we were away gathering supplies. One man told us they'd followed a lady named Michaela to the settlement after she promised to provide the future for them. Honourable as it was, this was an unwelcome surprise to us. I had my men get in contact with her down the frequency that the man had provided and summoned her to broker an agreement.
You two, move! Take your trade and do it somewhere else.
Right, apologies for that. So is it a Miss Michaela, is that right? No, not at all. Well, I suppose a little apology might do, but not to myself. I'm only the lieutenant, you see. Name's James Peterson. I contacted you on the radio. I must have missed your response, though. Apologies. Yes, the Cavaliers have occupied this settlement for a good 3 or 4 days now. And, well, we went out on a night patrol, and when we returned, everything had been reshuffled, items had been moved around, and, well, weapons and ammunition were missing. Right, the coats, yes, we did have a rather stockpile of them, and they seem to have vanished. You say some gentlemen took them, did they? Well, I suppose that is a bit of a pain. They're rather hard to come by these days, and we're in desperate need of them. Anyway, I'm not upset for the fabrics, but more of the deal of you deciding that it would be a good idea to somewhat invade. I suppose it's a harsh term for it, but more of an immigration, right? Well, you see here, Miss Michaela, is it, or is it Michaela? Michaela is your first name, I assume. Miss Stone, right? You see here, Miss Stone, we're reaching max capacity as it is. More mouse to feed is... My word. Mr. Anderson, why don't you go investigate that for me, please? It might just be one of the...
It was some radio chatter, they just shot a wolf.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But who shot the wolf, though?
Any more wolves? Just make sure they don't head this way. That'll be one of our patrols anyway. It's,
Monsieur?
yes, of course. This is Mr. Legrand.
Just to let you know, the Lord Captain will not be long.
Jolly good. Right, yes, I heard he was heading on his way back. Well, Miss Stone, that's yet to be decided. Oh my. Why don't you join me and we'll take this meeting inside.
Fucking... I think the fucking... Aren't the Lord Captain's woken up? That's probably why it's bloody raining.
All one of the Oak people have done a rain dance. Right.
No, everyone try and get some shelter.
Yes, I see that you set this up. Rather resourceful, if I might say. We were a little surprised when we saw that DIY SOS had rearranged everything. But seemingly you've certainly got an eye for efficiency. Tell you what, I think the Lord Captain is,
Right here.
right there, yes. Mr. Ashford, allow me to introduce Miss Stone, Miss Michaela Stone, led a small party of, was it 3 or 4, down to these parts and impeded themselves upon us. She's already expressed some sincere apology that her presence was met with less than open arms. I believe she thought this place was abandoned.
Abandoned, you say? What gave you that impression, Miss Stone?
Do you have a nice raincoat?
I'm all ears, Miss Stone.
Yeah, thank you.
She explained that she had watched the camp for half a day in order to see any activity. She assumed that because of the lack of presence, such a place of majestic grandeur had simply been evacuated. We decided to break a deal. Deal of relocation to a smaller lake nearby, called Lake Silver. We'd provide aid, they'd provide subsistence. Oh, quite so. Well, I think it's also important, Miss Stone, that you understand that anything that these men do, we hold you fully accountable.
Oh yeah,
Indeed.
You must make sure they're on board. You must make sure that they also agree to follow our jurisdiction, follow our rules. They're fair, but they're there for a reason. No one's to be pilfering from anybody's items. Nobody is to be harming anyone in the region, and we certainly don't expect hostilities on our own land.
Quite so. If you are intent on bringing trouble here, I shall have to relocate it elsewhere. Yes, I think I concur with you, Lieutenant. We ought to send a expedition with post haste to survey the area and find some suitable land.
Yes, of course.
Excellent, water supply as well.
Well, I'll lead it myself.
Agriculture, perhaps.
When the rain stopped, what I suggest here is Miss Stone rallies her people. We go off and take a look. Maybe just me and another good man, and we further relations. But you must understand, Miss Stone, that a forward of payment would be expected, most likely in the form of the tents that you placed on our area. I suggest maybe 2 or so would do the trick. So what?
Yes, that sounds fair.
So therefore, you keep what? 2 of the large green ones.
We will provide them with as many tents as they have people. I shan't force them to live in squalor.
Yes, of course.
Would those be agreeable terms?
Yes, the DayZRP bank.
Like right there on that bank.
That would leave us appropriate spacing for men. I think we have rather larger numbers.
Excellent. Of course, do not feel that we are imposing demands upon you. This is a conversation, an act of diplomacy.
Well, let me write up a terms of agreement, shall I? Yes, no, of course, may be able to relax, miss. No problem. Shouldn't be a concern, these people. Yet to determine. Right, why don't you go and follow Mr. Legrand's orders, Mr. Harrod, and get in position, I think.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
I apologize for that, you know, it's just I won't be roaming about your area, you know, it's just protocols.
Right, very good. You will have to remind me from where your territory extends. I am rather hazy on that, Peter.
Well, we personally don't like